Hey everyone, we are here with Todd Orr, the current property assessor for Blount County, and he is here to answer some questions for us regarding the upcoming local election. So Todd, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Todd Orr. I'm a lifelong Blount Countyan. I've been married to Stacy Orr for 24 years. We have two sons, Riley and Brady, a senior and a sophomore. I've got that's pretty much about my life. Just the quick and easy about me.
Okay, nice to meet you.
All right.
First question, what are the most important challenges facing our county and how do you propose to address them?
Well, for the property assessor's office, the most important change is the influx of people coming to the county. I mean, we live in a great place. There's tons of people coming in, and values are increasing.
Yeah.
So we have a reappraisal coming up in 2023. So our staff is diligently working to already working on that reappraisal, because the goal is always fair and equitable values appraisals. And a lot of people don't know what the property assessor's office does. You know, we keep an inventory of your property. We map it, we give it a unique identifier, and we just take an inventory of everything you have. We measure your house, we stay outside of all your outbuildings, if you have a pool or deck. So the inventory part is the most crucial, because that way, once we do a mass appraisal, it takes the inventory into account, how everything's priced. Because a lot of people don't realize mass appraisal is different than if you call your bank and you get a loan and you do a appraisal just for your house. We break things into neighborhoods, and it's not like a neighborhood like you live in. It's just similar properties. Like here in Blount County, take Springbrook for example. All those our properties are similar. So we would take that, we would break it in, we would analyze some sales data and come up with a base cost, and we would apply that base cost to that whole neighborhood. But that doesn't mean everything is appraised the same, because some people have pools, some people have garages, some people have large decks. So that's why taking a inventory of all the property is so important, because when we apply that method across the neighborhood, that applies to prices. And then based on your characteristics, that's how the appraisals are come. And we take that and we do it all across the county, separated into smaller sects of neighborhoods like that. That's how the mass appraisal is done.
How do you keep track of such a large inventory?
Well, I have a great staff. Because we have, here in Blount County, we have roughly 75,000 parcels.
Wow.
And we have 8 field employees that go out in the field. So that's a little over 9,000 parcels a piece, because we split it out. We try to split it out based on a map, and it's regionally, we just set it out and to try to make it as even as possible. But as things are growing, some areas are growing more. So we have one guy who's booming. He's got a bunch of new construction. Well, we have another guy in another area of the county that may not have new construction, maybe it's a little older stuff. So, and then we have commercial development coming, as you know. So we have commercials, people that specialize more in convenience stores. They specialize in rental units. So it's a really specialized, I guess, line of work but like I said, I have a great staff, total of 16 employees. And not on top of that, talking differently than the reappraisal, we have personal property, which is business for the businesses. And we have 6,800 accounts in those. And I have, one lady that basically her job is personal property, but during the busy time, we have other people that step in and help, that kind of thing.
Now, you are the incumbent property assessor. So how long have you been doing this?
Well, I was lucky enough to get appointed in September by the commission after Mr. Helton resigned. So that's why I'm on the election. I'm on the ballot in this May, because this is not the cycle usually for the assessor's office. So if I'm lucky enough to win in May, and then I have an opponent in August as well, if I'm lucky enough to win there, I'll be running again in 2024.
Okay.
So to get back on the cycle that the assessor's office does. But I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've worked with the state of Tennessee for 17 years, right out of college. And then I went to work for Patriot Properties for 8 years right after the state. And it was a software company, but the software they have is for assessors offices. So I worked with assessors offices in Tennessee, Kentucky, North and South Carolina, and Oklahoma. So you learn, to me, you learn from doing, but you learn from others.
Yeah.
And I've been around some of the assessors offices my whole entire career. So some of the things that we've done since September, just in the office, are things that I've learned from some friends of mine, say in Oklahoma. I've talked to them. Hey, how do you do this? And then, of course, I have a great relationship with a lot of assessors here in Tennessee, which which is more locally. You ask, what did you do about this kind of issue or thing? So it's leaning on a lot of people, a lot of I guess just your friends that you made during the whole year or the years means a lot.
So there have been some news articles discussing discriminatory practices in personal appraisals, but there was one of the discrimination in Edwards, Mississippi, where the property assessor of that town systematically raised the value of Black-owned property. So what is your office doing to ensure there aren't any discriminatory actions or property taxation and equitable distribution of tax revenues in Blount County?
Well, that is fault reappraisal, basically. When you take a one section or one person's residence and you raise it, that's just fault reappraising. That's against the law.
Good.
Yeah, that's kind of an obvious thing. But the way mass appraisal works, you really don't. It's really data driven. Mm-hmm. Everything is data driven. So as long as you gather the inventory of the property, and then really you kind of let the computer system work. Mm-hmm. You get the base cost and apply it across the board. Like I said, we separate it in what we call neighborhoods, just certain sections, and certain sections would go up. Some may not go up as much. Mm-hmm. That's what and everything is real statistical, because you're looking for a bell curve. Mm-hmm. That's what everything is based on. It's a statistical analysis, because, as I said, we have 75,000 properties here. We can't possibly do an appraisal on all 75,000 at one time. You know what I mean? We don't have the manpower, the time. It's just not possible. So it is a statistical analysis. That's why we have we have county board hearings, because if somebody's not, they get their notice of their reappraisal and not happy with their value, they call us. And we could be, we're human. We could have something listed wrong. Maybe we have a garage that we thought's on your property, maybe on your neighbor's, and so that's upped your value. Like, what's that? Or so we make mistakes. We try. We work do our best, but it happens. So we fix those. And like I said, everything is kind of, we're not set on a hard number. If you think your house is worth $200,000, not many houses, honestly, in Blount County right now are worth $200,000. Most are more. So if you think it's worth $200,000, we think it's worth $205,000. Well, that's an opinion of value. We don't go inside. We don't do it. So there's not really that much difference, mm-hmm. in as far as tax dollars and that kind of thing. Now, if you think it's worth $200,000 and we think it's worth $400,000, well, then there's an issue somewhere. You know what I mean? So everything is an opinion of value, and how we get to it is really statistical analysis. So getting to a hard number, it's one of the things I've been preaching to my staff on, because we have a bunch of appeals that I inherited, but not to their fault. It's more commercial appeals, but there's like 87 appeals. Like we have the Walmarts, the Lowe's, these big box stores have these companies come and appeal these values.
Are they trying to get their taxes?
Absolutely. And so that takes the burden, because we have it valued, and maybe we're a little high. We have it valued at, say, and I'm going to mess up here because I don't know the exact numbers, but say it's at $70 a square foot. Mm-hmm. They say it's at $40 a square foot. Well, there's no way it's $40 a square foot, because they didn't lose money during the pandemic. Everybody went to Walmart still. You know what I mean? So, and Walmart's that's just an example. There's other big box stores like that, but it's happening all through the state, honestly, all through the country. It's legal firms, and it's just it puts the tax burden off on the residential person.
And taking time and energy away from you and your staff to support the residents here of Blount County.
Absolutely. it's a problem all throughout the state, these type of bills. So hopefully we can, like I said, we have some dating back to 2015
Wow.
that I inherited. So we're working diligently on those, but I'm not an attorney. But it gets in the attorney's hands, and then they kind of things off, and nothing is fast and legal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
legalized. So that's kind of where we're at on those.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so our last question for the day. Why should the citizens of Blount County reelect you? Or elect you, I guess?
Well, this will actually be my first election from the citizens. I was elected by the commission.
Yeah, okay.
The commission, the 21 commissioners, they voted to elect me to the interim basis. So this will be my first election by the citizens. But I think based on my job history,
Mhm.
my education, my job history, knowing the job, and just being willing to serve the county. I mean, that's kind of why you get into public services, just to serving others. And I think that's a big deal. And you try to instill that. Like I said, I have 2 kids. Try to instill that. There's other things for others, doing things for others, and serving. Running a campaign is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, and it's tougher when you're working in the office, because you can't campaign during work hours.
Yeah.
So you have to campaign after. So nights are tough. Weekends are taken. It's a busy time.
You guys sit here and do Facebook Lives? Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
God.
Well, this is a good thing. But honestly, I don't mind it at all. I like meeting the people.
A lot. You're running 2
is.
full-time jobs, essentially.
Absolutely. And it's not just me. It's my wife, my family. I've got a bunch of friends. I got friends that go knock on doors and hand out my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, who in the world does that? You know what I mean? I mean, last time I ran in 2020 and I lost by 417 votes, although I'm not counting.
All the more important. Every vote counts.
Every vote
Go
counts.
vote.
Right. But my college roommate actually came out on Saturday mornings and went and knocked on doors with me. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you have great friends, people that help, and people just want, and I just honestly, the one of my main helpers this time is a guy I just met this during the campaign. And I said, why are you really helping me? And he said, and I think this is a big deal. We need people that know what they're getting into, what they're doing for our values. The values are going up, and we need people in offices that are educated about it and have a clue about the assessment world. And he said, and you're by far the most qualified. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the votes, like you said. So, yeah.
Todd, thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate Todd and his time today. For more information about him, you can go to votefactsblunt.com. It'll link directly to his campaign website. Tune in next time.